Hi there. Is this Josh?
Hey, how's it going? Is that Sean, right?
Yes, Josh. Pleasure to meet you. Sean McGrath here. How are you today?
Hey, nice to meet you too, Sean. I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Excellent,
You know,
excellent,
just
brother.
waiting.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Where are you calling out from right now?
I'm calling out from New York.
New York. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, no, New York's a really pretty place. Are you near the city area or are you near more like the mountains?
I'm in the city.
Cool.
I live in Tribeca. Tribeca.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, so my guy was telling me a little bit about your story. Before we get into this call, obviously, just wanted to set the tone. The purpose of this call is I wanted to help you out with your sales team, either if that's through script creation, through growing the team in general, maybe placing some people in. That's also what my guy was telling me a little bit of, what your struggle was finding the right teammates to work for you. Is that actually true? Would you say that your biggest struggle right now in your business or your biggest chokehold is not having the right people?
Yeah, like kind of like that. So right now, I'm looking to, you know, grow my, double monthly income. That's the goal that I have for pretty much to start the next year in a better position. We
Mm-hmm.
did very good this year, but I want to, I know we can do it better. But to do better, I think the sales team needs to, need to get a better sales team. The sales team that I have is okay, but
Okay.
I need a better one. So I was chatting a little bit on the message. I don't really know much about what you guys do. I know just like just on the name and some information. Like, can you more like sales accelerator? Like, what do you guys do? How can you help me out? And
Yeah,
the price, how much cost? Like,
of course. Yeah. No, and that's the that's the entire purpose of this call, Josh. Is I'm going to break all of that down for you. Not only the price standpoint, exactly how I help and what my team does, specifically when it comes down to script creation or placing the right people into your team, or even training the team that you have. We kind of do it all. We're a one-stop shop when it comes down to sales training and just basically sales structure in general. With that being said, too, you were telling me that you want to kind of improve your team. What does your sales team exactly look like right now? What would you say revenue-wise you guys are taking in, and where are you looking to be? Like, obviously, you said you want to improve or it's not good enough. Obviously, you have an expectation in mind. What would you say you want your team to be doing? How big is your team? And what is kind of their roles, for example? Just give me a little bit of a lay down of your sales team, what the prices
yeah.
you're selling, so on and so forth.
So we we're an tech industry, so we very much we sell AI service for we call it a high ticket, right? So our product is very it's not cheap, it's expensive product. Can help the business to increase a lot of data, help them with the data, help them to analyze business structure with the AI much faster than they have to hire a bunch of people to do for them. The AI does it very fast. So product's not cheap, and monthly wise, we're doing about 400 k per month. And the goal is to hit 1 million. I want to hit 1 million by 2025. And right now, the team that we have is we have. So what we do is the process that we have. We have a person to set a meeting with the client, and then the person who sets the meeting, and then we have a person to do the meeting to close the deal.
Okay.
So we have the appointment setter and then a person to close the deal. So on the team right now, we have let's say 3 people working as the appointment setter, and then we have 1 person that's the closer. So we had 3 appointment setters and then 1 closer.
Got it.
And
Okay.
then the cost what we charge people is we have a package which one package is 10,000 a month, and then we have the highest one is 50K a month.
And then 50K. Okay. Got it. Wow. It seems like you have a pretty well-oiled business for 3 appointment setters and 1 closer, especially. Obviously, though, with how expensive your product is, you would probably... What would you say... would you say that there's like any chokehold in the marketing at all, too? Or would you say that the marketing is running pretty decently, it just mostly has to do with the sales team?
The market is good because it's a product that a lot of people need that.
Mm-hmm.
So the competition is very low. So a lot of people because we can a lot of different ways when it comes to data and AI, and we even have a product to help them to secure the data and against hackers and stuff like that, which goes into cybersecurity. It's another product that we have that we can sell to them. But the market is very good. It's not the problem. I think to get to the 1 million market number, we will need to do the things, like go different way with the sales team.
Got ya. Yeah, man, I completely understand. I mean, it definitely seems like you're doing good, but especially for, where you're at from a product sales standpoint and, how good the market is for what you're telling me, you could definitely hit 1 million. I mean, you have 3 appointments. The one thing that I will say, chokehold-wise, and it's probably something you already obviously know, is your sales force. I don't necessarily think your sales force is doing bad if you're doing 400 a month. Is this new revenue, or this is just how much you're doing just in general?
Yeah, for the past, I'll say the past, 4 months, we've been doing 400,000 a month. We've been hitting that because our product, the clients pay us monthly, so we consistent on that number. We maintain the client, we maintain the number very high.
Got it.
So for the past 4 months, we would be, but we've been stuck on that number as well. Haven't really passed the 400K number.
Got it.
On that, try multiple things, different ways about it, different ads, but still not 400K.
Got it. Yeah, so you've basically you've looked at all the other options, saying like you check the ads first, check the client success, all that sort of stuff, and it's come down to basically just the sales team is either overloaded or is just not doing its job. From the size of your sales team, I would probably say it's more or less maybe it's just not big enough. I mean, 3 appointment setters and 1 closer is good, but especially if the market is good and there's a lot of leads coming in and they're just not getting reached out to, it might not be an issue of your appointment setters or closers for that matter. It might just be an issue of you just need more people, which is something we help with, obviously. And when it comes down to your 3 appointment setters and your 1 closers, I guess let's go down to that factor. Do you believe it's because they're overworked? Do you believe it's because they're just getting burnt out? Do you believe that they're just not that good, and luckily the product itself is so good that it kind of sells itself? What do you think about your 3 appointment setters? And then after you explain your appointment setters, what do you believe your closer's potential is? Or like how well he's doing, or so on and so forth.
I think the closer is has a lot of experiences. The percentage is very high for him to close. He already worked with like major companies before we started working together.
Cool.
So he's a very experienced closer. But I think the main things what you said, it's about the number. I think we need to increase the people who's working with us to have like a solid bigger team, a solid team with very organized to be able to reach the 1 million. Because without like a very organized team, it can be very hard to hit to that goal.
Perfect. Yeah, man. Listen, it seems like you're like I said, even looking at 3 appointment setters, 1 closer, kind of understanding a tiny bit of a background of your business with the AI world and like how much you're charging. Like they do seem like they're doing good. Obviously, this is not a type of product that you're going to sell one of them every day. It's obviously a really big ticket product, big whale-based product. So the fact that they're bringing in that is really good. And I think it goes back to what we were just talking about earlier, which is just increasing the sales team. So with this being said, too,
you said something about like that you can help. Like, how does your company can help you out to increase the sales team? Or, like, what do you guys do to help?
Sure. Yeah. So to give you a little bit of a background of Sales Accelerator, not only are we a sales training company.
You can tell me as fast as possible because I will have another meeting coming soon, so I have to go for it.
Got ya. Yeah, listen, when it comes down to what we do specifically, obviously we do sales training. We can come in and train your teams, but another part of our business is a recruiting process. So we have a whole bunch of salespeople that we've personally trained ourselves that we put into companies like yours that have setters and closers, and we not only train them on your product, but if you don't get any results with them in the next 60 days or 90 days, you'll get a full refund, and then we will place another person into your company until one of them succeeds to the point where you're actually making money with them. So it's basically a win-win. I give people an opportunity to work into major companies like yourself with little to no cost to you. And if they do make you money, that's where I get paid. And if they don't make you money, I keep putting people into your business until you get paid. So basically, you don't really pay me a dime until you get fully paid. Does that make sense?
So it's like you already have them trained, and then I don't need to report to you. No, I don't need to report to them. I mean, I have to just talk to you if I have any problem or something like that.
Well, yeah. So for example, this is what I'm thinking. I'll just give you a little bit of like a back round of what I'm thinking. Say I put 2 more appointment setters and 1 closer extra into your business. So right now you have 3 appointment setters and 1 closers. That could be 1 team. And then I'm going to place another team in there of 2 appointment setters and 1 closer. So they're going to learn your product, understand your product. You are going to be the boss of them. They are going to, you basically just going to explain to them and train them exactly what the product is. They are going to compete against your other salespeople because, as you know, salespeople are generally competitive in nature. So if you put one team that's like from SalesAccelerator.io's team and then it's against your team, kind of creating like a friendly competition type thing, it should, if anything, say the team that we have that I put in doesn't produce like the team that you have. There's still going to be a competition factor that your team that's only doing $400K a month, it will kind of put into their minds saying like, oh no, I'm not going to let these people freaking out compete me, especially if it's just for who's Sales Accelerator. Screw Sean, I don't like him. I don't like his team. That's what your salespeople will think. and they'll actually end up producing more because there's going to be a level of competition. I'm guessing with how small your sales team is, they've gotten really close and they're probably pretty connected, but the problem is now there's no more competition. Maybe there's a little bit with your appointment setters, but the fact that there's only one closer means that there's no competition for your closer. Meaning your closer is the only person closing deals. And if you put another closer into the mix and he starts doing better than your closer is going to start picking up the pace. So it's a win-win either way, but this is the reality. Say we put the closers in and then the other appointment setters, they will be able to pick up the slack of the leads that are not getting picked up by your smaller team. And that will increase the revenue. At least, if these are the numbers you're getting, say they only do half, that will take you up to $600,000 a month. Say just from the start, they're brand new, they don't really know your product, they got to learn it. Obviously, new employees got to learn things. But from that example, it would literally just bring that up. And then it would also put competition on your team that's already doing the work, and they might do from $400 a month to $500 a month. Does that make sense? So not only would we be putting extra people onto your team to pick up the slack of your leads that aren't getting called or aren't getting followed up with, but you will also put competition into the team that's already doing good work, which means they'll do even better work. So from that alone, you would be making an extra $200 to $300,000 a month into your company, and that's just from a minimum standpoint. Once the team that I place is more trained up into your organization, then you could train them up to be $400K a month salespeople too, and then you could have two teams doing $400K a month, which would bring you to $800K. Obviously, with this being said, if your ads are as good as you're saying they are, if the leads are coming in just like you said they were coming in, like you said that your market's pretty lucrative, so that's a good thing. But obviously, with a lucrative market, you still need a force to close the deals or to sell, for that matter. So with that being said, I probably would recommend putting in at start 2 setters and 1 closer just to create another team. And if maybe that's not your bag, we could at least do 1 setter, 1 closer just to create a small team that goes against yours. Like I said, competition's a really big thing in the sales side of things. And obviously the other part is not only putting in salespeople, but also putting in maybe incentives that you're not doing with your company. With that actually being said, obviously we're talking about increasing your sales team. What incentives do you have for your current sales team that motivates them to actually take in $400K a month, or would motivate them to do more, for that matter?
Pretty much the incentive that we have is more like giving them bonuses. So, they get a commission plus if we hit whatever the number will be for the goal for the month, and then the closer get one number for the bonus, and then the appointment setter, depending on how many meetings they book, like qualified meetings, and then we'll give them extra bonus for each meeting that they do.
Cool. And generally too, how much do your bonuses look like? Like, do you do like hey, you closed $100,000, like here's a $5,000 bonus for each of you? Like, what does your bonus structure look like specifically?
Yeah, it depends on the ticket that what they close. If they close the $10,000 offer that we have, and then they'll get a commission, and then it depends on the number that they hit. So let's say if they close like the close that we had, like this, like past month, he closed 5 new clients, and then he got he got for bonus the 5 new clients. He got like $2,000, 2, 4, 6. He got like $10,000 bonus.
Wow. Okay, cool. So the bonuses are pretty big. That's good. That's always like
Yeah, well, we like to pay your people very good.
yeah. Well, see, that's like actually, believe it or not, that's a really important thing that a lot of sales teams miss. They just kind of give salespeople salaries sometimes and then really small commissions and expect them to work harder. When in reality, as you know, and you owning a company, you've probably sold a lot of things in your life prior to owning this company. And with selling, we all know that it sucks. It's really hard. It's not an easy job. It's very awkward. It's very tedious. It's very draining. So sometimes we need more as people than just like, oh, here's your paycheck. Thank you for selling for me. Goodbye. Sometimes it's just like really big incentives, whether that's money incentives. One thing that I'd probably recommend, and it's just some free value I can give to you for your company, whether you work with me or you don't, is always putting in incentives for your top rep. So, for example, you have 3 appointment setters. Eventually, you'll have another closer, which means like you'll be able to have the closer compete too. But bringing out like vacations, like hey, for the sales team, like this was actually a really big thing that I learned, especially in sales training. Say you have like a company vacation for your sales team, just your setters, your 3 setters, and you're gonna bring them to Fiji, for example. Like you give them all expense paid, like hey, Fiji trip. So 2 of your reps, they're going to have a hotel there. They're going to be able to be in Fiji. Like woo, they did it. They get the morning breakfast with their crappy hotel, but they're in there. They didn't have to pay for it. It's their vacation. They felt they got an incentive. Is awesome. But your number 1 sales rep not only got to go to a hotel, but he got to go to the Ritz-Carlton, and he has 5-star service, and he has a chauffeur, and he has all these things kind of paid for. Now, it sounds expensive. The reality is all those things, like all those extras, like you staying at the Ritz-Carlton for 5 days, like in a nice room, yeah, it's expensive, but if your rep is bringing in you a lot of money, because that's an incentive, if you put that incentive, like, hey, top rep gets to stay at the Ritz-Carlton, trust me, your salespeople will work harder. And if all your salespeople work harder, you make all that money back just with the incentive in general. So it's easy to pay the top rep, but then you create a company culture of number 1 is paid the most. Number 1 gets treated differently than everyone else. So the number 1 thing that I'm just going to give from free value-wise is that always treat your top sales rep different than all your other sales reps. It will create a culture of competition. Everyone's going to want to be number 1. So you always treat number 1 way differently. Always pamper them way better on vacations, on incentives. Like make them feel like they are number 1. And also make them feel like they could lose it if someone else takes their place. So it's kind of just like knowing like this is as good as it gets if you stay number 1. But if you don't stay number 1, you will go back to that crappy hotel in Fiji. It's still Fiji. It's nice. But you get where I'm coming from. You're creating incentives to make people a lot more active in your business. And makes the salespeople not only way happier because they actually have something to work for, but they're actually getting really cool experiences out of it. So it's a win-win for everybody. Even the losers are still kind of winning in a sense, but there's still competition for number 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Perfect.
So, how much it costs for your service? Like, how does that work? Do you charge for a monthly basis? How yearly? How is the price wise?
Perfect. Yeah, so just going into that, I'm actually glad you brought that up. That's literally what I was just going to talk about next. It really just depends on, what type of team you're, like, how much you're willing to invest. Because like I said, we could put in 1 closer and 1 setter for you. But is that what you actually want to do? Would you say that that's, like, the main thing? Do you just want to start small and kind of work your way up? Do you just want to create the team and say, like, let's not start small, let's just go all in, let's make the team right from the start? And put in maybe like another team of 3 setters and a closer? Like, where do you feel like you want to start? Do you want to just start out, or do you just want to kind of go all in?
No, I want, like, if you can actually, bring the results, if your closers and appointment setters are very well trained, then I could go all in. But how can you prove to me that they are very good at training. Like,
Exactly.
so, like, can I test them? How does that work? Because I've seen a lot of people selling, like selling things like that online, but then when it comes to actually doing results on some of them, they don't really do it.
Yeah. And I'm guessing, too, in those situations, they also charge an arm and a leg, and then they give you a whole bunch of BS in the background if they don't produce, saying, like, well, you didn't train them right. So am I saying that correctly? Is that probably, like, the big fear?
Yeah, you're wrong. Because if I'm going to spend my money, I want to spend on something that's good.
100%.
Results, I'll just find some, Fiverr or whatever, then I'll it's like some lawnmowers.
Yeah, a Fiverr appointment setter, huh? Yeah. No, but I get where you're coming from.
My money on something that's not gonna be good, might as well go to Fiverr. So I want to make sure that's like if you have a solid team that can help you out, then
yeah,
we can talk about it.
Yeah. So let me just break down exactly what's going to happen. So first and foremost, say we're going to do 3 appointment setters and 1 closer. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go to my group. We're going to find 3 appointment setters and 1 closer that is fully done with our training process. By the way, when it comes down to the people that we set, we don't just find people online and put them in. We make sure we train them good and that they are pretty good with rejection, they're pretty good with objection handling, so on and so forth, the way that I train. We're going to put them into your company. This will start the 90-day process. So like I said, this isn't just I'm going to put people into your team, I'm going to shake your hand and say goodbye. So another thing that's also going to happen is with your training because obviously the thing is you got to train their product, and you got to train them a little bit on sales and like how you sell your product. But another thing is my team will also be training these reps as they go too. So as they start into your company, obviously maybe you have a week or 2-week training process. While you're training them, we're also going to be training them as well. We're going to ask that you send us all your scripts and all your like setup for that you have for your appointment setters and your closers. So while you train them on the product, they come back to us during whatever your training process is, and then we also train them on the scripts viciously that you have. So we make sure that not only are they studying their scripts, that they get them down pat. Because like I said, if we're charging you to put people into your company, we want to make sure that the people that we're putting in are not just some lazy salespeople, or that they suck, so on and so forth, or that they believe in the product. We want to make sure it's the right fit. This is why I say it's a 90-day process, because maybe 10 days throughout the process we found out that 2 of your appointment setters, or 2 of the appointment setters and the closer are good, but then 1 of the appointment setters isn't really that good. We will take them out, and then we'll put in another appointment setter from our team and make sure we bring them up to speed, and make sure that like whatever your process is for selling, that they are up to that code, and that they are actually doing what they're told to do. So with this being said, we train them up, we make sure that they're comfortable inside your company, and then after the 90-day process, what should happen is that they're fully immersed into your product, they're actually making sales with your product, and they're actually already at a point of competing with your team. Not from a point of like, oh, the new guys. Like, I actually mean they will be up to par to competing with your team, meaning that they're putting some fire under your team's ass right now. Because the reality is, if you have 1 closer and 3 appointment setters, yeah, maybe your appointment setters are motivated, but your 1 closer definitely cannot be. There's no possible way. He may be good, but there's no competition for him. Every person generally is, especially in sales, is pretty competitive. And not saying that they even like competition, but they are competitive. Like, I'm personally not the biggest competition guy. I don't like when I'm put into the fire of competition, but I do know that if you put me in that fire, I will compete. It's just the way how humans work. So the reality is this. If we put this team in, it's going to be a 90-day process. For our setters and our closers, we charge upfront $2,500 each for the setters, $5,000 for the closer, and then at the end of the 90-day period, we collect the rest. So it's basically $5,000 per setter that we take $2,500 up front just to show commitment, because obviously we're going to be training them and we're actually going to be involved in your company too. And it's going to be 10 grand per closer, which is I take 5 grand up front for him, but then at the end of the 90 days, you pay the rest. So it's half up front, and then we do the 90-day process. And by the way, while we're also training your reps, we also are training you. Like, I'm getting on calls with you, or my coaches are getting on calls with you to see what the process looks like. Because obviously, like every salesperson, oh, we're doing great, we're killing it, yeah. I want to hear the real bullshit. I don't want to hear the BS. Like, I want you to come to me being like, yeah, the first 2 setters you put in, but the last setter kind of sucks. I don't like him. He doesn't connect with the company. He might even be good, but I don't like him. We don't connect with him. Fine, cool. We'll take him out and we'll put someone else in. And then we'll probably put the other guy to another company that makes more sense or is more culture-based for him. Like I said, just because you find a good salesperson doesn't mean that you'll also like them too. They also have to be a good fit. So it's making sure that, like, when I put these people into your company, prior to me putting them into, I'm going to find out if they like the tech industry, if they like AI, if they want to do this. I pre-interview my setters and my closers before even placing them because I want to make sure that they're in the right fit. I don't want to put a fitness closer inside a company that's AI, and I don't want to put an AI closer or a person who's really dorky about technology into like a fitness-based company. Does that make sense? Like, I want to make sure that the people I'm also putting into your company, it makes sense for everybody. So what's going to happen is the upfront cost, 25, 25, 25, so 75 plus 5, that is going to be 12,500 upfront. And then once that is collected, we'll start our 30-day process. I'm going to have my onboarding guy call you, reach out to you.
Get how much on front again?
So it's going to be half up front and half at the end of 90 days. So it's going to be 12,500 up front because you're getting 3 setters and 1 closer. And then it's going to be another 12,500 at the end of the 90 days. Now, if you want to break it up, the other, say you're like, I don't want to pay another 12,500.
9 days, 20,000.
Say again?
The end of the 90 days, you said, is 20,000 or 2,000?
No, it is going to be, so it's going to be 12,500. It's going to be all together after 90 days, it's going to be 25,000.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's going to be upfront 12,500, and then after the end of 90 days, when everyone's trained up and they're already making money, and like I said, looking at your business in the lucrative factor, like there's no possible way that they won't make you that money back before the 90 days are up. And I'm not even saying that to excite you and to make, and I wouldn't say that in every sales call because every person's business is different. But for your business, if you're making 400 grand a month with just 3 appointment setters and 1 closer, if you add another team plus competition, you should easily hit $1 million. Because here's the thing, say they do another 400 grand, my team, your team does 400 grand, but then there's the other factor, which is competition. Now competition's hitting on both sides. And guess what? I'm going to tell my team, like, don't let Josh, I'm going to say to my team, like, don't let Josh's team kick your ass. Like, you're salesaccelerator.io. You're from my team. You should be kicking their ass. Like, I'm going to motivate my team because I'm also going to be meeting with the closers and setters, too. So, not only are they going to be meeting with you.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why should I, how can you prove to me that your price is worth what you tell me?
Say that one more time, sir. I couldn't really.
How can you prove to me that your price is worth me paying all this money? Because I don't really know much. Just kind of like getting to know your company now.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's for two. Yeah. So it's for 2 obvious factors. One being that obviously if you put in more team, you're going to be making more money. So that's the obvious factor into that. But the other factor is, like I said before, say you're getting through halfway through this process and the team is not performing, I will keep placing setters and closers into your company until they perform for you. So it's a win-win. Like if they don't perform, then like I said, I keep putting people in until you get salespeople that perform for you. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, am I going to waste time training this guy or hiring the right person and spending all this money? Because as you know, it costs a lot of money to train people. You don't have to because you paid me $25,000. Leave that part to me. I'm the person who's going to make sure that you have the salespeople in your team that are actually performing. So it kind of not only takes off the burden of hiring new people for you, but it also takes off the burden of making sure that they're good. So you're literally paying $25,000 technically to double your company. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Perfect. So with that being said, obviously, did you want to start out with 3 setters and 1 closer? Is that what, did you just want to kind of go all in and just give it a go and make it work for you? Because the earlier we start, the less, I know you said you wanted to shop around and do all that sort of stuff, and that's obviously important. I don't want to pressure you. But obviously, the more days that you wait, the less revenue you'll be making. And if you take 1 month to 2 months to make a decision, that's 1 month or 2 months that you could have been ahead of time of actually getting people already trained up and already into your company and making you money.
I think I need, I'm going to need some time to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you can send me, like, more information.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I understand too. This is like the first time we're calling, and obviously, I'm guessing the email that my setter, my personal setter, got that's a good email to send information to.
Yeah, that is a good email.
Perfect. Yeah. So with that being said, obviously right now I'm sending you some information, but even before I do that, you want some more information, you wanted to kind of figure out, if this is the right best step for you. Generally, when people ask that question, it's 2 reasons. One, it's either a money issue, which looking from your company, I don't believe it is, but you could tell me if it is. I'm not going to pressure you if it is. However, most of the time people ask that, it really just comes down to a decision or just a knowledge-based issue. For example, you did just get on a call with me. You didn't know everything about what I offer. I guess my question is this: what questions do you have in your head right now that's making you not want to make a decision to spend $25,000 to make another $500,000? Because obviously that's a good deal to, most people, if not to anyone. If someone said you could pay $25,000 and make $500,000, I would get the money out. Like I would go to the bank and go into debt for that. So obviously it's a good deal. My question is this though: what is holding you back from that? Because obviously you have some questions, maybe you just have some concerns. This is our first time talking, so I completely understand. But you're on the phone with the expert right now. You're on the phone with the guy who knows everything about this company. I can send you information, or you could literally just ask me any question that's on your mind that you might be too scared to ask me. Which, again, I completely understand. But what would you say those questions are that you have?
It's more about... I understood the company, they said that you could bring the results. Money-wise, it's not a problem because we get paid for the service.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like the part of that I'm used to people selling stuff, service online and don't really, deliver the results that they say that they're gonna do. But if you can promise to me and show me a way that you can guarantee me that I'm gonna have some type of results, then I'm in with you.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if I can do a test, like if I can test for 7 days, 5 days, tryouts. I don't know if you do that.
Well,
because that's the only problem that I'm having right now.
Cool. Yeah, that's an easy problem to solve. I'm glad thank you for bringing that up and letting me know too. I appreciate that. Sometimes when I get in calls, people will never let me know the real reasons of why they won't want to do something. And I have 2 responses to that. One is we don't do trials for the main reason of, like I said, we're going to be training the reps that we're putting into your company, so that takes time and energy. And with time and energy, that's not free on my coach's end or even my end to do so. So if I have to do that, then that means that there has to be some money up front to justify the cost of training them. And then the second thing is, it goes back to what you said with trials. We have something even better, which is guarantee. Like I said, with you giving us money, it's not just giving us money, but you're also going to be in a contract with us. With contracts, as you know, I have to provide exactly what's in the contract. Does that make sense? And in the contract, and in the contract it says if my team does not perform for you and you actually don't get the result that you were looking for, which is a result that obviously through coaching we agree on, like this is what we're going for. We want to get you to 1 million. We could kind of like, obviously we start with 3 to 1, like 3 setters, 1 closers, and kind of work our way up there, see what your team does. But it's basically my goal, and it's the reason why we have a good reputation in the first place, is we put in contract that we are going to do this for you. We are going to make your money back, minimum. There's no possible way that, especially with where your company is, and if everything is true from what you said from your end, which you don't sound like a dishonest person, that will definitely not only get your money back, but way more than what you want. So with that being said, it's going to be in contract that we are going to increase your team. We are going to increase your revenue. So there's no possible worry that you could have. And if we don't, that's the beautiful thing about contracts. You could sue me for the money back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Like that. You can promise that you give the money back, then
yeah. Like I said, if we don't perform, the entire purpose of what I'm doing here is not doing money grabs. And obviously with this industry, there are a lot of money grabs, so I understand your concern. But that's why we do a lot of contract stuff, because in my personal opinion, like I said, I've seen a lot of people get screwed over in this industry. And contracts wouldn't help me as a person, especially if I'm the person who's trying to screw you. A contract wouldn't help me. It would screw me. But that's the entire point. I'm not trying to screw you. I'm actually trying to do legit business, and I'm actually trying to do everything correctly in the right way. And there's correct business practices, and my personal opinion is if you put things in contract, it not only creates a lot of trust, because the trust doesn't even need to be there. If you don't trust me, you could sue me. It's in the contract. I'm going to be producing this. Yeah, exactly. So that's the entire point. It kind of takes off the entire burden of you wanting to should I trust this guy or not? And then the only thing that So what's going to happen is, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to collect a credit card from you, whether that's Amex, American Express, Visa, MasterCard. We also take Discover too, if you have one of those cards. I'll collect $12,500 today. I'm going to get you set up with my client success guy. And then with that being said, I'm going to also have a meeting with you personally to really kind of get a deeper understanding of your company. So when I find the right guys to put into your company, which by the way won't take long. It won't take long to find the setters and closers to get into your company. This is going to be a very quick process. I know it says 90 days, like 90 days that, we have time. We don't have time. 90 days this is going to be like an intense 90 days for you. Because, like I said, to double your company, this is not going to be like he's going to put him in. It's going to be willy-nilly. It's definitely going to be work, but it's going to be some of the best work that you've ever done. Like, you're going to be grateful after these 90 days. It's going to be a lot of stress. It's going to be a lot of work. But after these 90 days, you're going to be wanting more. You're not only going to be thankful for me, you're going to want me to take care of all your sales team. You're going to want me to put in a lot of people. Hell, you might fire the people that you have now just to hire my people. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, brother. So what I'm going to do is collect the card. I'm going to send out a contract for you. I guess the next step is really just what's the number on your card. I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, when you're gonna send it to me email,
Yeah, no, you can just tell me over the phone right now. I have software to take care of it. All right, Lucas, I just received it. So 12,500, perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm sending you the contract through your email. Like I said, the email that you have on file is the best email to have. Like, I could send contract. Yeah. Okay, that's going to be.
Yeah, you can send.
Okay, and then
you can send on the.
Perfect.
The email that you have.
So I'm gonna send information for you to fill out just to get everything prepared too. Another thing too, this is the best. This is your personal cell. This is the best number to reach out to you because I'm gonna have one of my client success guys reach out to you and get you all set up with all our systems and kind of give you a laydown of exactly what you got, which was 3 appointment setters and 1 closer. And then with that being said too, we're gonna get everything written up for you so you can put in contract. And listen, man, I'm really excited to be working with you. It seems like your product is really, really good, especially if you're doing the numbers that you're doing. And it's just my goal to help you double it or get you to that 1 million mark. And I'm excited to be working with you, man. Let's get your company up and rolling. Next 90 days is going to be a totally different life for you.
Yeah, me too. So just let's chat and let me know when you can do the meeting. We can start going.
Cool. Yep, I'm going to have the client success guy. He's going to, just also to give you warning too, he's going to maliciously reach out to you in the next 24 hours. So if you're busy, obviously it is what it is, but he's going to get a hold of you in the next 24 hours. But that's one of our main things is being on top of you. Obviously it's a big thing that we teach at Sales Accelerator too. So not only are our client success guys sharks, but your salespeople will be sharks too.
All right, perfect. Sounds good, Sean.
All right, Josh, it was pleasure talking to you. Like I said, everything's collected, everything's good. We'll talk more. We'll set up another meeting too where you and I will chat about next steps. Okay?
All
All right.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Take care, Josh. Bye. Hey there. Thank you for watching my video. Hope you got a lot of value from this live phone call that I did, closing a deal. First and foremost, though, too, if you want to get into high-ticket sales, but you don't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to learn how to do so, please take a look into my school community, salesaccelerator.io, where we teach you the main tools that you not only need to sell, but also the tools on how to get the right opportunity from the get-go. Hope to see you in there.